spectacular player, but FURIA did it before. They won that match against G2, and they are here to win it back again.
Oh, let's get things kicked off here. Game number 1 between FURIA and G2 Esports, a best-of-7 here in the upper bracket.
Marathon, not a sprint, and early on, FURIA pressing under the G2 defense. Here's a chance for Kaio, and that's going to be saved. Chicago equal to the challenge. And G2 having to fend off some early pushes and great stalemates as well at the midfield line. A little bit of extra space here for FURIA as they work their way out. JNAP's trying to close the gap, a little too slow. Both teams very comfortable, and that's a big demo in the back line. And a couple of demos as well. Kaio making sure G2 doesn't have a man advantage.
Starting off the game physical. Here's a double tap as it's turned away by the FURIA defense. G2 trying to put on that offense. You heard it from the desk. You heard it from Bates especially. Oh, they've got a strong offense coming out from North America, and they're showing it here off the post.
FURIA figuring their way out as they go down to the orange side of the pitch. This is a free ball for Atomic. He's just going to elect to punt. G2, they want something. The G2 crowd demands blood. Yanks working his way down the midfield line. Little lax pressure from FURIA in the midfield, but there we go. Nice close from Card. And he find a little help here from his teammates. Pressure applied, and Kaio expecting his teammate to get a touch. It's a race back, and Kaio making sure not to get demoed, but still get the ball out to safety. Well handled.
That was a bit risky, but again, Kaio was in back, making the balance for this team. And that's what he's been doing all series long, just making sure that they don't overcommit too much on that defense, and they have someone behind to stop the attacks.
And we mentioned this was a series that was played in the Fall Major, of course. The G2 had a different roster, but that was a best-of-5, and you have to pace yourself a little bit differently here in a best-of-7 as FURIA trying to put on the attack.
G2 quick to push it away and win the subsequent challenge. Chicago looking for a little help on the sidewall. As Atomic not even going to waste his time. Didn't have the boost to get up the wall. And Yanks with a free ball.
Yanks, 100% goal participation against that game and endpoint yesterday. He really is the heart of this FURIA team. He has to have a good day if he's going to take them down.
Good dish out in the middle for G2 towards the net, no problem. For FURIA's defense. Kaio wisely on a dribble, trying to force possession back into FURIA's favor. Pushing G2 away from the ball in the corner as well, seeing if they could try and open up a gap. Chicago cleanly through the midfield line with support. There's a lot of traffic in the middle of the box. Great save.
I have to say, G2 is doing a great job at defending that midfield. They are not allowing Kaio to do any damage so far, which has been a pretty good weapon for FURIA, and that's why we still have a 0-0 match.
Yeah, there's 2 minutes, 14 seconds left. It's been a stalemate in this almost 3 minutes here in Game 1. Very different than maybe the games we've seen so far here with the crowd as JNAPS wants it off the ceiling. Not going to happen. Card, a big clear. He'll take a second shot at it as G2 turns it away.
Kaio trying to get back to it, no help though, as Chicago to Atomic. Can he get back? They need a third person to put this one on target. Double tap! He'll find it in the bottom left-hand corner. G2 will open it up.
These guys, I mean, they did everything right. So many attempts to not, I mean, they went for the ball at exactly the right time. They have many attempts to go before that, but they knew that was not the time. They waited and waited and waited until it was perfect.
It really is a triple threat coming out from G2, and JNAPS, how many times have we seen him put away shots like that? Here comes G2 again, as the defense of FURIA having to hold on here. Plenty of time for them to work back into this game, but G2 ramping up.
Great clear from FURIA as JNAPS. Quick support from Chicago as well. Have Atomic pushing in as Kaio off the boards. Great stop. FURIA really trying to find a way past this midfield line. Finally a small gap out to the left-hand side, but struggling to maintain possession. Atomic going to force them to work as hard as possible. The more G2 keeps the ball in the air, it's going to be very difficult for FURIA to bring it down and make sure they retain in control.
And every time I see FURIA from a POV on the players, they bring the ball down and there's 3 of G2 in front of them every single time. It's been so tough for them to find some space here in Game 1.
Yanks, a little extra time to work with here through the midfield. Drops the flip reset, needs support from Kaio. Card rushing in to try and get aggressive. You like to see FURIA trying to start to send as much as they possibly can. Trying to equalize late in Game 1.
Just FURIA has not been able to match the speed right now for G2. G2 just being able to win those contest in the air, and they have been most of the time unmatched. It's like they get to the ball first, and FURIA knows it, so they don't force a 50-50, which is smart, but at the same time, G2 is winning everything.
No, you're absolutely right. You're seeing the ball being poked around here on the FURIA side, and that's the space you're talking about. G2 has really taken advantage of it here. Less than 20 seconds to go. FURIA within striking distance, and they got to put one away now.
Like the fake from FURIA to try and work through that to the right side off the wall. Can they find one more look at it? Dished back towards the middle. Card. No, everybody's going to leave from FURIA. They're going to have to do it in the air at this point. Off the wall, missing the double tap as this is not quite going to find its way onto the floor yet. Yanks not able to get a hold of it. Kaio cleanly. Solid catch. Atomic should just kill that. Well controlled. G2 going to fend off a FURIA counterattack.
And boy, was that a battle there in game one. G2 coming out on top, and of course it was JNAPS to put away the only goal. But you got to give credit over to FURIA. They really did stop that G2 offense for most of that game. But as you mentioned, Shamako, there's a lot of space for G2 to take advantage of, and they certainly did with that one goal.
And then when they can play so happily, you know, they're not being contested, then they can do so much more in the offense. They can find each other, they can go for the passes, they can set up offense, which FURIA was not able to do because they didn't have control of the ball.
There was a lot of big clears for both teams as well. I mean, surprising to see both teams so willing to take the punt approach when it's just so good. You can't come back on camera without getting these guys.
And they're excited to be here. I mean, when you heard the beginning of that game, the fans were going crazy. The G2 chants were coming out. So, you know, when the desk was talking about the home field advantage, G2 certainly has it here, as FURIA is going to have to work through that as well. And honestly, Chimako, I felt like that was a pretty decent first game to get things into.
Yeah.
Again, a long series here in this best of 7.
Yeah, it is a best of 7, so a lot of time for teams to adapt to each other a little bit. So hopefully, you know, SPL is doing some work with the guys over there, and it's telling them what to do, how to cut that distance, which is so critical right now against G2.
And I think there's a lot of confidence here for FURIA. I mean, you talked about, or listening to the interviews there from STL yesterday and the days before.
Sure.
They were very confident in the way they've been playing. They want the respect, and I think they've earned it here, and a big win over G2 would help that, as there might be a double tap coming! Guard puts it down, and FURIA on the board first!
You could feel it coming, all the space in the world at the midline, and that is a great pull-off from the first man. Let Card come through and put the pressure on.
But it was Kaio with the fake because he was there, and obviously G2 was expecting Kaio to be the one to touch the ball, but he let it for Card, and Card got a beautiful, you know, just play right there, a beautiful shot.
Beautiful touch. FURIA setting the tone here in game 2, and that's kind of the spark they needed that they didn't get in game 1. It wasn't that it was a horrible game, but we didn't see a lot of offense. That's how you start off game 2.
Free to put a lot of extra pressure on G2 now. Thrown into the midfield, see who comes down with it. Will be Card, not quite able to keep possession, as Atomic will just take some extra space with him down onto the blue side as, oh my gosh, he's actually gonna find the dunk. What a play from Atomic.
He pre-jumped him before he even knew he was gonna hit it. What a read from Atomic, and then he dunks him again. G2 able to tie it up.
And he's actually looking for that play. You see him boosting for the ball, boosting for the dunk, and got it. That's what Atomic brings to this team. He doesn't need anyone. He actually can do a 1v3 sometimes and still get something done.
Quick equalizer for G2. Not willing to concede anything for free. Yanks, solid clear. See if FURIA finds a way to really lock down in this midfield line. And again, peeling off there. A little scare for the defense.
A lot of space there too for G2. FURIA with their backs turned towards the ball, driving back towards their own net. G2 no. And they've been chasing them down. FURIA trying to work from their own side. Here's Yanks into the air. He really has to be crucial. Almost got a bump on JNAPS, but unfazed will move down the field. Here comes G2. JNAPS, it's an open net. Nobody's there from FURIA, and G2 in the lead.
I wouldn't see it from another angle because we were waiting for someone to be there, but Card was, he was down. He wasn't in the field, so nothing to do right there. And just like that, G2 got the advantage in this match.
Well done, G2. You find the demos, put pressure, can't close the gaps, and now FURIA finding themselves in a very similar situation as game 1. Still looking for them to see if they can put some extra pressure at the midfield line as the go-to G2 chance. They're gonna try and energize. Team already out in front. Great pass. Ripped towards the net. That's gonna ricochet around the box. Second chance for Card, well met by Chicago. G2 going to get out of a tight spot.
Boy, those opportunities for FURIA are exciting, and G2 are giving them the space, especially in the midfield. These shots coming way outside, and G2 having to deal with it. FURIA looking to tie it up.
Kaio, awkward touch, not a lot of boost here for FURIA. They really need to make sure they take good care of where they place the ball in case they can't reach it, and they did. They work through the backboard. Card going to come through, help out his teammates on the goal line. With a little space, tries to lift it over Atomic. Kaio, can you get there for a second time? This is a solid enough transition, but JNAB's really great control there off the wall.
G2, though, they've been threatening here in this corner multiple times, and FURIA, big long clear here. Here's a shot on target. Kaio able to tie it up at halftime.
I was about to say, we haven't seen that midfield game from FURIA, but there you go. I mean, Card, he was trusting Kaio so much. He put it in his hands so Kaio could put the shot on the net, and we got a tied match now, halfway through of this match, of this second match. So we got a game. I mean, this is not what the first match was looking like.
No, absolutely not. And as we were alluding to after the game one, I think FURIA was just getting into this series, and they're going toe-to-toe here against G2 right now.
A lot of races for possession. A challenge game, certainly the deciding factor every now and again. FURIA could certainly catch G2 sleeping, push too far forward, as they are wont to do every now and again. G2 trying to find some gap in the midfield line, struggling at the moment. This is really what you want to see from FURIA, see if they can exert some extra pressure, and that's really when that misdirection from their offense pays a lot of dividends.
And you see FURIA being a little bit more aggressive on the midfield line here. A lot more challenges are coming out for them, and G2 gonna have to be more creative if they want to break that midfield line. Challenge after challenge. Yanks here, boost to work with, flip reset. The pass is over. Card is there, and FURIA take the lead.
I love it how you said they're gonna be a little bit more creative, and just like that, Yanks puts a beautiful pass right in front of JNABs. I mean, JNABs was not bad in his positioning. It was just such a great pass that Card was able to put it in net.
Beautiful pass, to be sure. Excellent flip reset to beat the last defender. Great follow through. FURIA not out of the woods yet. A minute and a half is a long time, but this is the offense you like to see. We wanted to see them clamp down on the midfield line. We've gotten it. Now it's on G2 to find a way out, trying to chop that down towards the net. Good aggressive save.
Haven't seen the same offense from G2 in the last minute or so. It's been all FURIA on the attack. JNABs trying to change that off the ceiling. The follow-up was there, but the defense able to hold on, and FURIA with the big clear. Not the best touch from Atomic. It's FURIA able to follow up. Here they come again. Card gonna get to the ball first and into the G2 corner.
Really nice job as well, pressuring as Kaio actually gave a little ground, and G2 working their way back down the other way. FURIA able to find their way back smoothly on defense, and here comes the G2 pressure. Chicago trying to cut across the middle of the field and see if he can catch FURIA being too aggressive on defense, not realizing they're beat to a ball. Atomic with space. Card, patient approach, not a bad idea. Wins a second challenge as well. Help from Kaio, and time is ticking, as that is a big challenge from JNABs towards the wall. You need a nice touch, and decent enough floater out to the corner, but it's for Chicago, and he overdoes the back pass a little too high and wasting precious moments. Big clear across the box, and that's a great job to get up there and poke that one to safety. Huge clear for FURIA. Can they hold on for 5 seconds, as G2 need to do it in the air at this point? JNABs with support. Kaio's got to give ground. FURIA, nice clear.
Still gonna be up.
Gentle Chicago, really making sure he didn't drop that.
Easy.
Here's JNABs, he kills it. Almost, but not quite enough. FURIA, they do a nice job to stay calm.
As you can see it in the faces of the guys from FURIA, I mean, they were really, really careful with that last play.
Eyes got real wide.
Yes. You know that anything can happen. Especially, you were saying about how G2 Esports offense was a little bit lacking, but when you have a guy like Atomic right there, I'm not the one that want to make that comment, you know, because it can backfire so fast, so fast. But again, to credit for FURIA, they did an amazing job working up front and not allowing G2 to attack as much.
And honestly, I felt like that was what you would expect out of FURIA coming into this game. I think that game one was an opportunity for them to kind of get into it there. Yeah, show off the shirt, why not? Brazil for FURIA, and they're looking good right now. A lot of fans out there watching this game at home, and of course here in the stands, they're rooting for FURIA, and why not? This is a matchup that they've won before, and so far here at this winter major, they've looked extremely good.
And they showed they really start to lock down there at that midfield line. It's not an easy thing to box a team like G2 when they've got so many weapons and ways to break out of their own half and try and put the pressure on you.
And we knew this was going to be a tough matchup. I mean, they did it before FURIA, but it was a 3-2, and now with Atomic in G2, we knew it was going to be even harder for FURIA to win this. So it is actually what we were expecting, these two teams, going at it in this series.
That's the FURIA section of the crowd starting to come back to life here at the beginning of Game 3. He's an inspiring figure.
Yeah.
And FURIA, see if we can keep up that pressure from Game 2. G2 needing to make some adjustments. Oh, a scary one as Chicago. Right place, right time, able to get that one away from the net.
And like you said, Chiefs, you have to keep up that pressure. You have to push back G2. And no one's there for the follow-up, but FURIA did a great job. And we mentioned it about 2 minutes left in Game 2. That was when FURIA really moved up their line, and G2 had a really hard time of figuring out how to break that line before they even got to the FURIA side.
Until the last 30 seconds, though.
Until the last 30 seconds, okay, that's fine. They didn't score.
Oh, there you go.
JNaps is going to poke one through onto the left-hand side here. They just beat Kaio to the ball and kind of hamstrings Yanks in the backfield, and the last person rotating back couldn't deal with the placement.
And when it comes off the ceiling like that, JNaps getting that second touch there, I mean, it's so tough to read that as a defender.
And I think that's what Chicago and JNaps does so well. They open up for their teammates, and they appreciate every single pass they get into their hands.
So again, the early lead for G2. See if FURIA find a way back. JNaps really trying to get as large as possible in front of the ball. He knows they can't afford to continue to have the challenge game go FURIA's way. They saw what happened in Game 2. Kaio, little awkward clear. Now that will give a lot of space over to G2, but don't think they were quite ready to take it. As Card just threw everybody out of nowhere, and thank you, we'll take that.
Sometimes an awkward save can open up a lot of stuff,
He went for the boost.
We talk about how you whiff sometimes and then it throws you out of balance. Well, the same thing with an awkward save. So in that case, FURIA was able to take advantage of the whole thing and just go through side to side.
And very interesting decision there. Atomic going all the way for that boost. I guess he just didn't think FURIA could get to that ball, and G2 trying to get one back. Chicago will regain the lead.
Great pressure from G2 to get it back. Again, quick equalizer. I suppose in this case, go-ahead goal, but that's what G2 really does quite well. If FURIA is going to all stick on one side of the pitch, G2 takes a lot of space, and they really do put the pressure on you to make some quality touches on your own half, and if you don't, that can be exactly what happens.
Seems like the strategy in this match is to be up front the net every single play. Like if you control that midfield and forward, then you're going to be able to score. And both teams are doing that. I mean, sending every single player up front.
We'll see if FURIA find a way. Push the G2 line back. Crazy pinch. Card trying to get a hold of it. Everybody in a race for the ball now. Yanks is trying to figure out when's the best time. He didn't see Atomic there before it was too late. G2 pushing back the other way. Decent enough pass, and it's going to tie up the defense.
What a touch from Atomic. 2-3 touches from Atomic. He came off his own back wall, the touch down the sideline, and then another one off the back wall. He's all over it, and a great setup to his team.
I love for all the noobs like me that will have gone for the boost, just to make sure that I have a little bit just in case. No, he trusted that he was making the right call. He went for the pass, and his teammate didn't let him down.
FURIA definitely trying to spread the field now. Great vision on the passing game as they push up off the kickoff. Unfortunately not able to create any chances. Collision from a couple players, but a free ball for Kaio. Yanks considering how to defend this one. Big boost steals from G2 here. FURIA need to be careful they don't get too aggressive because now they're going to be out of position with not a lot of boost, and they're going to rip it to the back corner. What a save.
Huge save, and FURIA trying to turn this one away. Again, this is the threat that G2 poses with this offense, and FURIA just hanging on there. And into the midfield they go. Some space to work with. Yanks try to get a piece of the defense. Chicago not the best touch. And FURIA able to stuff it in the corner.
FURIA starting to push forward here. Nice demo on the Yanks, though. Opens a big gap, forces Kaio to try and close it. And those few extra seconds can pay dividends for G2's defense to really get settled here. Nice back pass, really trying to focus on keeping possession. Yanks is looking for it. Stretching, back support and denied. G2, way to keep it out.
And he's been quiet this game, Yanks has. That's, again, the big driver force here for FURIA on offense. He led Sam altogether in the winter split goals per game, just over 1. And he's been quiet. G2 have shut him down. G2 coming back the other way. A demo will open things up, and it's 4-1.
The demo plays from G2 are coming on, and they're coming very handy. You see how he opened all the space right there. I mean, Yanks wasn't able to do anything against Chicago, and 4-1 lead. This is the biggest lead we have so far in the series.
Crazy touches as well from G2. FURIA's generally not being caught out of position per se, but G2, the approaches as they're coming through the midfield, I should say, getting some real nice touches on the ball that put them in positions with a lot of different options to go towards net. And it's a tough thing for any defense to handle. And I would just say that this has been a well-executed game from G2 more than anything.
I was about to mention, I feel like G2's just done a good job of whittling down FURIA here in this game. It really hasn't been too big of mistakes. A lot of great outplay coming out from Atomic. G2 brought him on to make this team better, not only domestically, but internationally as well. And right now, it's paying off as FURIA trailing by 3 with 50 to go.
Find something to hold on to here as you look forward to game 4. Again, this is best of 7, so not too much pressure being applied, but you would like to feel like you'll be able to make the adjustments going into the next game, because you certainly don't want to have a repeat here. Find yourself scratching your head going into a potential game series decider.
Yeah, they definitely have to work with that demo-heavy strategy that G2 is implementing. And they have been doing so very well, where they are going for the demos, but they're not being too aggressive at leaving their defense, their net, wide open. So that's a great strategy from G2, and the biggest lead, again, that we have had so far. So FURIA seriously have something to do after this time.
G2 trying to get a cheeky final goal here. Atomic with a flip reset. He's going to struggle to get back to it. They
what a
still kept it up. Okay. Put it in your own net. Come on.
Come on.
Great game from G2 overall.
Yeah.
I would say there were definitely a couple of points where, had the defense broken down for G2, certainly could have been a much tighter game. There were a couple of really nice pushes there from FURIA.
I just felt like G2, for all the compliments that we gave FURIA in the last game, and even in game 1, I didn't really see it too much other than the beginning of the game where they were able to tie things up, but it just felt like G2 were never really threatened here.
Well, if you're lacking one person on the team, it's very hard to get creative in offense, you know. So they were 2v3 a lot of time, not the whole match, but a lot of time. So that player comes back, low boost, he's out of position, so it's very difficult. You need another player to fill in for that person, and again, that demo-heavy strategy that G2 is having, it's working.
And that's actually quite a difficult thing to handle, because I think a lot of those G2 demos really stemming on their ability to push the ball towards the FURIA half and find places where the defense isn't. Like, say, for instance, they're not defending the backboard, they'll smack it up there, which means that FURIA has to react to this. Then they have time to go out, circle around, try and grab the corner boost, maybe just go across the net while they're all looking up. And that means there's a lot of different places you have to look on the FURIA defense. So it's really going to be about reading, I think, where G2 is trying to place the ball and see if they can find a clear immediately off that touch so that they don't allow that extra time for G2 on offense, even if it's not an immediate threat, to create the extra pressure.
And I think there's a story being told here from G2, especially the changes they've made. FURIA, they moved up their line, they were upping their challenge game into the midfield, but G2 really ramped up the physical part of the game and took away the FURIA defenders, took away the FURIA offenders as well, and it really slowed down and stunted the FURIA's power on offense.
Yeah, you were talking about Yanks, that he wasn't attacking as much, but hey, he needs someone to feed the pass or something to him. Or maybe he's trying to get the pass to someone, but if there's no one there to get the pass, then it's all over.
There you go. He's demoed right off the bat. Chicago getting a piece of him, and here comes G2.
And that's really that touch right there from Yanks is really what you need. You have to see, okay, G2 attacking the backboard, need to make a quality first touch. How about put one back on target the other way? FURIA trying their best to handle this G2 approach. That's a nice chip down into the middle, but well defended. As G2 continue to just try and sweep right through that goal line, see if they can catch the FURIA defenders looking somewhere else.
Another demo right there.
Yeah. Again, it's Chicago. I mean, he's just all over them. Yanks trying to get one off the back wall, won't happen. And a big clear here for G2. Still very spread out game, beginning of game 4. That one taken away by Jane Haps, Chicago and him combining to move down the sideline. Here Chicago now wants to take the challenge, and it'll be one out by FURIA.
And that's really the other part of the game that FURIA has felt just a little bit behind G2. I think in general the pace is good, they're matching it, but on a couple of those big challenges at the midfield line, FURIA's a step or two behind it. And that's when they really pull themselves out of position as well, when G2 has a chance to try and break out of their own half, and they're late to that challenge. It's costing them a lot in terms of positioning. Jane Apps muscled off by Kaio. Pass to Atomic and actually got a piece of it. G2 actually turned this into something is the real question. Don't really have too many people in position.
It's looking very reminiscent of game 1 here. Scoreless, players fighting for position, fighting for possession. The midfield certainly up for grabs at the moment as both teams have just been skipping it with the long clears. A double tap isn't going to drop for Jane Apps. Maybe another attempt here for G2 as it's cleared away. And FURIA trying to gain some ground on G2.
You gotta be careful with those clears because you definitely want to get the ball out of them. Watch it. Oh my God.
You said watch it. Yanks had to. He's had a man coming right at him as he was having to try and make this save here. Good shot from Atomic, but couldn't go out and get it. Had to try and jump late and couldn't get there in time.
And I think it's very clear who is the physical player on G2, especially in this game. We saw right in the beginning Chicago getting 2 demos, now going for the last man in the net, and FURIA struggling to really adapt to this physical play.
You don't always have to be on top of the ball. You know, you don't have to go after that ball every single time. You know, just going for the opponent, for the bump, for the.
It will push G2
demo.
off the ball.
Yeah, it does wonders.
That space could be incredibly valuable if they're able to make contact on some of those approaches.
Especially if you know your teammate has a good shot, and then you can just leave it to him and just concentrate on something else.
G2, all taken away by Yanks. Jane Apps in charge, buying a little time here. Good boost control of the midfield as well for G2, trying to limit FURIA's resources as they push up the pitch.
Oh my, I was about to say FURIA. Oh my, twice. Oh.
You thought the first one may have been on purpose, and then it's like, oh,
then
okay,
the second
never
one
mind.
happened. No, no it wasn't.
We're in this together. You know?
A real team effort.
Yeah. And luckily nothing comes of it. Here's a weak shot turned away by the defense. Card easily able to take this one out. FURIA, a chance to break out with no boost here for Card. As G2 very patient to let him work down the sideline. Chicago dishing it back off as FURIA trying to move that line back up, but again, G2 shuts them down.
Gotta be careful on their spacing as well as they push upfield. Good attempt from FURIA to try and break through the last man. Ripped on target as hello, Chicago. Take that opportunity away. A minute left. FURIA really gonna try and push as hard as possible now. Don't want to be down 3-1 in the best of 7. And here's a chance for Yanks, looking for a little help. And no, not quite Card off the wall. And that is going to be defended. G2 put up a brick wall.
And that's the defense they're going to need when Yanks gets the ball, behind the ball like that. And that's kind of the spark that you feel like FURIA needs. They need one to drop like that. And here comes another player. Kaio into the air. A flip reset off the back. Whoa, the follow-up was there, but G2 to clear it out.
Nice pass over to Kaio looking for Card. Can he get there before the defense? It's actually going to come off the corner, but Atomic all over it. Going to force FURIA to approach from as far away as possible. The demo on Kaio as well. Going to limit the ability to rotate through the ball. Yanks trying to make sure he's got boost and potentially possession. G2 going to try and clamp down here.
We've seen some 0-second balls, and here's one now for Yanks. Full boost, flip reset, over one. Follow-ups there and turned away by Atomic. Still another chance. No! G2 going to knock it down, and they're on match point.
It's so weird to me to see FURIA not being able to handle the midfield because they have been doing that, you know, since the beginning of this LAN. And now against G2, they have been dominating every single attempt except for game number 2. But games 1, 3, and 4, they have been dominating that midfield so well. And then again, you know, with all the bumps and all the demos that they have been doing, they're just controlling the actions so much. It's weird. It's weird for me because FURIA's offense has been great throughout the championship.
Oh yeah, oh absolutely. I mean, we've seen them take down some great teams. They started off their group stage with an NRG win. I mean, you got to give a lot of credit to them here, but obviously the offense from G2 definitely giving them some problems. And again, as we've been mentioning here late in this series, it's been the physical play that's come out for G2 and really, again, stunted, I think, this FURIA's defense and offense, and they have not been able to move down the field as easily.
And it's not a super big adjustment, I think, that needs to be made. It's really just all about control and, again, that slight over-aggression in the midfield. They can make sure that they take quality challenges. I feel like FURIA will find themselves in some better positions, and then they'll be able to at least try and put the ball into a neutral space on the pitch and not just allow G2 to come through on that blue half, because we spent a pretty decent chunk of time over there in that blue corner off the blue backboard, and it's not like FURIA was playing poor defense. It was just a matter of getting unstuck was the problem.
And I don't want to admit this, but Sam is not a demo-heavy region. They don't have that experience as much, you know, and G2 is just exploding that.
I don't blame you for being not demo-heavy. The plays you put together look a lot better. Well, G2, see if they go with the old, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, it really is on FURIA to make the change. G2, they've certainly figured them out as for now. But a game 5, reset the score, and maybe reset the mental here for FURIA. This one, gonna bounce in. Kaio puts one on the board for FURIA.
Really out of nowhere here for FURIA as well. JNAP's the one to finally take the suboptimal challenge, lost the race, and Kaio just happened to put that straight in the net. It didn't matter if it was out, Yanks was ready.
You need Kaio to be doing that a whole lot more. You know, just be faster, go for it, even if you whiff it every now and then, but just make them believe that you're gonna win every single challenge on the midfield.
That is something that generally, as we've seen Sam come and play in a lot of these international events, more often than not, taken aback by the amount of pace that they have in the midfield and catches many teams off guard. And perhaps G2's seen it at least enough times by now that really trying to put the pressure on them to make the right decision every single time. G2, flip reset, dropped it. However, JNAP's playing tight on support. Everybody coming up empty in front of the blue net.
There's opportunity there for FURIA to move down the field. Like you said, every single player from G2 chasing after that one. Here's a back post shot. Yank's gonna put it over. Card, can he get there in time? It's turned away by JNAPs.
A lot of space here for Kaio. A lot of options as well. You can see G2 making sure they try and take away the backboard. Stops on the goal line as that is just going to be touched out into the corner. Great control. G2 winning not panic in a scary spot.
You needed someone there. You really needed someone there. I mean, it's a 3v3 matchup. You can't have one person stay in defense and then one going for the follow-up. And I mean, those follow-ups are crucial right now because you know.
You got him.
Oh my God! Get it! The follow-up. I'm telling you, you need someone there. I mean, don't let it go to waste. You need to make just. Oh my God, that was. I would have been crying right now if Kaio wasn't up there.
That's what I was saying, get in, because I mean, you're just making the point that they got to have the follow-up, and they were certainly there. FURIA up 2-0 now, and they're crashing the net. The offense is clicking, and I think it's a lot of individual play coming out from FURIA that's breaking down G2.
Well, you can call it individual play, but at the same time, it's a team effort because, again, the follow-ups are crucial.
Yes.
And you know G2 is defending so well, so a 1v2, 1v3 situation will not be a goal. But then if you have the person to follow up the challenge, then like that, exactly. I love that one from Card.
Yeah, great challenge from Card. Really puts the pressure on G2, forces them to react to the attempt, limits their ability to counterattack with extra people upfield. And FURIA doing their best to keep a hold of the lead, and they've got a player in the middle, Kaio, figuring out a way through. That's an excellent challenge indeed. And a second one. Can you put it away? Made sure to put it in between the posts, lost a little pace. And they got back.
The challenge game going back in favor of FURIA. That was 2 high-quality challenges that gave them an opportunity for the shot, just not enough power on it to beat the G2's defense when they were scrambling.
I'm not mad, though. I'm not mad. I mean, there was a good defense from G2, but FURIA put the offense right there. You know, they made a statement. We're winning the challenges, we're pushing the ball forward, and we're going to keep attacking.
It's a good bump from Atomic. Gives G2 a chance of getting the ball back, and Card jumps up. Dodging that demo, but Chicago still headhunting, and he collides back the other way. Atomic was fighting for it, but couldn't quite get command. Pushed off the backboard. JNaps has to contend with Yanks in the net. Now Chicago, where do you put it? To yourself. Just misses the double tap. Followed through from G2 and FURIA holding strong. What a defensive sequence.
It's not over. It's not over, though.
Is just wide.
Oh my God, that was scary. I mean, as a FURIA fan, you know, I cannot hide it. I cannot hide it. But
That's why you're here.
they did an amazing job at defending, and G2, you know, just went after the balls every single time. They were not letting that one go through, go away. So 1 minute, 25 seconds. The clock is ticking for G2 right now. I mean, they are 3-1 in the lead of the series, but they really would like to finish the whole thing right now.
And maybe not for long. FURIA, while the defense was tested there just a moment ago, they're able to stabilize here. And as you were talking about, Chimako, time is certainly not on G2's side. FURIA don't have to chase much. How about a bump into the net? Yanks coming alive, and FURIA up by 3.
Lovely approach from Yanks, making sure stay under the center of the ball, get on top of it, and give G2 a taste of their own medicine. Give them a kiss on the way out of the net. Great shot.
He's been trying to do that very, very often, and it's pain. I mean, every single time he will not get it, but every time he gets it, oh my God, what a shot.
Those are the types of plays that you expect from him, and he certainly puts away a world-class shot there. And you can really hear the chassis hit on that bump. Here's another one here from Yanks off the back wall. A second touch is there. Flip reset inbound, but he can't get the touch. Still the follow-up there for FURIA, as they are all over the G2 side.
Pushing nicely, Yanks denied by Atomic, and I think G2 gonna have to wave the white flag here in Game 5, barring an insane comeback in 30 seconds. Excellent pushes here from FURIA. A well-deserved win is on the way. Really a formality at this point is pretty much kept quiet. Only a few demos early on in the game, but after that, FURIA really started winning those big challenges out in front of the G2 net, and even if the follow-up couldn't always crack the goal line, did an excellent job of at least forcing G2 to play some defense, and how about one more for the road?
The king has rise, and I mean, that was a beautiful play. Oh, come on, you cannot deny it. It was a triple touch. Wow.
What do you mean? Everyone's gonna give him credit for that one. That is an amazing touch. Multiple touches from Card, adding insult to injury there with that one. 4-0 for FURIA, and they're looking good going into the next game.
Ball will touch dirt. FURIA, well-deserved win.
Yeah.
To be honest, you can't really fault any of the approaches. Chimako says we need the follow-up there. Well, ask and you shall receive. It arrived.
Sometimes I wonder if they're actually listening, you know, when we are online. But right now, I'm like, maybe not. That was a beautiful display of adaptation from FURIA. You know, they didn't get demo as much. They were winning those challenges in near the net, and they were attacking every single time and doing the follow-up. So the way that they reacted to the first to those 3 losses, it was amazing.
Yeah, and I felt like the challenge game really started to shift back into the FURIA side.
Yes, absolutely.
Again, you talk about that defensive line that we've been talking about throughout the entire series. They really have pushed it back up and won a lot of those 50-50s, which allowed them to put shot after shot and crash that net.
So we'll try and gauge a little bit here. I know there's still a lot of G2 people. Let's hear it. You guys think FURIA comes back?
There you go. Pretty good. Pretty good.
Okay. That's not bad. They won Game 7.
And yeah, that's one good thing about having a long series. You know, it would have been over for now in a best of 5, but FURIA still showing up. They're showing they are alive and that they really want to win this.
And I mean, that's kind of a statement game coming out 4-0 over
Much
G2,
needed.
who are at this point sitting in the upper bracket, very heavy favorites, I think, for a lot of people looking at this series. So taking them down 4-0 like that is, again, a statement game for them. Can they keep that going into this late series?
After losing a 4-1, I think.
Yeah,
so,
yeah,
even more statement.
I actually think they're going to have to fight a lot of JNaps on the back line here in this next game. He was very close to breaking up a lot of those approaches, and JNaps prides himself on more than just hitting the flashy double taps off the backboard. He's an incredibly powerful defender on the pitch. And I have a feeling that he's not too keen on allowing a lot of those challenges going back the other way at this time.
Yeah, I mean, obviously defensively he's been great. I think a lot of people look at him for his offense as well. You know, just going back, he shot 40% against BDS in that series the other day, at 76% goal participation as well. He was all over the pitch for G2. A lot of people talk about Chicago. Obviously, T-Bates talks about Atomic, but I think some people have forgotten about JNaps here in a few of these games because he has been spectacular.
Well, we shall see if FURIA can find a way to continue the push. Kyle, well controlled as they kick off here on Neo Tokyo, but what you really want to see is, just like after Furia came out, won the challenge game in their previous win, the same thing in game 5. Want to see the approach be similar. Big stop from Yanks on the goal line. Atomic needs a little help here, and he will not find it. Card gonna slam it out to the corner.
I mean, JNAPS tried to show up right there. He was stopped, right flat. So it's not a matter of, we're not talking about him, is that really right now, FURIA is doing a great job of nullifying the teamwork from G2.
And to be fair, it's a little scary with a couple of those goal line saves. They're going to need one here. It's not going to come. It's JNAPS and G2 on the board.
Really nice job here from G2 on the approach. They gave up a little bit of space on the challenge, decided to see if they can handle it. What a read is right. I don't know how you've got the timing down to that degree, but it's pretty easy when you're that good, I guess.
Yeah. Be a world-class player, Chiefs. That's all you have to do.
I'll try my best.
Yeah.
G2, strong opening, but a lot of time remaining as Furia looking to regain the momentum. Card picking his moment in the corner with a boost steal as well. They're through everybody and Atomic. That's quite the touch.
A little side flip into that one to pop it up and away. Not to get any full momentum on it as Chicago can't get down the sideline. Furia gets a great pass to the midfield. Atomic turns it away. Furia threatening here as G2 scrambles. And Chicago takes a couple of low challenges to get out.
The G2 fans are on right now, and G2 knows it, so they're trying to attack and try to get that hype in their system. That's what you want from this crowd.
Gotta be scared of game 7, that's for sure, but a big miss. JNAPS trying to tuck it into the top right corner. Chicago will be looking for Atomic here. Fortunately, he was contending with Kaio as they almost break through the midfield line on transition for Furia. G2 regaining possession.
In this game, not out of hand for Furia, but again, a lot of those saves coming on their own goal line.
There we go.
G2 certainly testing them once again. And in game 6, they're trying to close it out. That one saved away by Card. An easy clear in the end as nobody connects there in the midfield. G2 has some space to work with. Atomic just booms it all the way to the Furia side.
He had no boost, and he was thinking, normally I'd like to air dribble and try and score this, but I have to punt. Kaio with a flip reset on the floor and really tried to tie up JNAPS. Way to stay poised on the goal line.
They need to take advantage of that. They haven't been playing on the orange zone that much, so they need to take advantage of every single clear that they have gotten. But it seems like FURIA has been having 2 players behind on the blue zone every single time, and that's not allowing them to put a lot of offensive pressure.
Oh, Card just able to keep it out. This one's also off the post, and finally G2 going to run out of people to try and score a goal. They would have loved the insurance there. Under halfway at this point, and G2 seems to have fought right back, pushing Furia into those corners, up against the wall, not giving them a lot of mobility in the middle of the pitch where they can create a bunch of options.
G2 not able to build on their lead. The defense holding strong. That was a great dunk.
Nice touch.
And a fantastic touch there from Card. But Furia, as you were saying, Shamako, haven't spent a lot of time on the G2 side. They need to find a way to get possession. The pressure's on them at times, not on their side.
Can't have the breakdowns in communication there from Furia. You can't afford to spend extra people where they're not needed. So you'll be late on another challenge that needs to be made. Minute 40 now. JNAPS actually catches everybody. Furia absent.
I don't know where Furia went here. Card and Kyle working in the corner. Yanks goes all the way to the boost. And the clear was a pass to JNAPS, opening up the net. G2 doubles their lead.
You got to make sure that you control those clears. I mean, if you're going to put it in front of the net, then you have to be right on top of that ball to avoid a counter-attack. And this time, it was JNAPS. I mean, you call the guy. You call him, and he's responding.
Yeah. G2 certainly better for it here. 1.5 minutes left. And again, still within arm's reach here for Furia. Just need one with time left on the clock.
Get within one. Anything's possible, and they may have something here. Cards up.
There it is.
And on the bar, you're kidding.
Again, JNAPS with the save. I mean, Corelli.
I don't know. I'm so sorry.
You gotta stop calling, guys.
I'm so sorry. He really came alive on both sides of the field here. Furia denied, and that was a fantastic play from them. Space was given over, and they took advantage, but G2 on the goal line. Now another shot comes through. It's JNAPS again. A hat trick for him, and G2 up by 3.
And again, tough backboard read to make. Can't really fault Card. Not an easy play, and G2 trying to put this one well out of reach. Furia going to have to work overtime pretty much need one in the next 15, 20 seconds or so to feel like maybe there's something there.
The way this is going, I mean, it's not going to happen because they haven't been able to attack that much. It's all they're trying to push the ball, but every single time they try, they get a clear, they get a counter clear from G2.
Popped into the middle. Atomic to Chicago, just off the wall. Second chance is going to get the job done. G2 will take a Sunday stroll into the next round.
Well, G2 responding after Game 5's performance. FURIA really blew them out. They come back and they're up by 4 here in Game 6, trying to send FURIA down to the lower bracket.
Overall, an excellent series. G2 just more often than not being the victors in the challenge game. Physicality as well. If not necessarily ahead in demos, perhaps better timed ones, giving them some extra opportunities at more reasonable approaches on the net as they'll let Yanks tuck that one into the top left corner. I shouldn't say let, that was quite the shot. That was not free.
He'll take it. He'll take it. I mean, yeah, they obviously need to keep the morale up for the next series because this is not over yet. I mean, they're going to the lower bracket, but
not out.
I mean, winning this one, yeah, maybe it might be over, but they're run through the brackets.
You know, the way G2's been playing here, I mean, this could end up being a very good result in a best-of-7 against them. FURIA taking 2 games off and being competitive in a lot of these games. G2, that atomic move, it's really paid off for them here. Up by 3, they're going to take this series, and G2 off to the upper finals.
Well played. G2, a quality game in the upper bracket. Unfortunately for the opposition, yeah, you can ask for it now.
You can ask for it. With the way he played, man, I mean, that was a fantastic series from JNaps. Again, in that last game was when he really came alive, and he's asking for it. And G2, happy to hear the crowd roar for them.
Undeniable. I mean, they played so well, and they came up after a 4-0 loss, and they gave it back to FURIA with a well, it was a 4-1, but still a very handedly won game.
And as you mentioned, not the end of the road for FURIA either. Nope. They will go down into the lower bracket. They will look at another dangerous team in Team Queso. Yeah. So the road gets harder for everybody involved. And overall, quality series. It really did come down to the challenge game. We pointed it out in Game 1, and you gotta like the approach. And when JNaps absolutely pops off in Game 6, yeah, you can win, I guess.
And I mean, you know, you can see in a lot of these Mobile 1 high-performance replays, G2, they really were able to take down that FURIA defense. And a couple of those replays, of course, the solo plays coming out. Yanks came alive late. I feel like I want to see him earlier in this series. I think that was the big issue for me looking at FURIA. I want to see him earlier, but of course, the G2 fans behind us, you can see they're quite happy for the G2 win.
You gotta enjoy calisthenics as well. Good squats. Nice job.
My problem right now is that you're calling players and they performing.
I know.
You know,
I
like
tried with Yanks. I tried Yanks. And to be fair, he did do a few things.
He did.
So you do it on a game-by-game basis, right? That's how we work it.
Sometimes it's not fair, but a well-deserved win. G2 really looking good, as I believe we're getting set for an interview. And indeed, I ask and I receive. It'll be T-Bait standing by with JNaps. Let's go and hear what he has to say.
Thank you, cheese. YouTube Theater. You got JNaps here right with me. G2 Army, stand up, please. Naps, how are your emotions right now, man? You just had a great series against FURIA, arguably one of your best series of the entire tournament so far. Talk to the people.
Do you want me to hold it, or?
If you want, it's your show.
Okay. I mean, I'm super happy. It's been 2.5 years since we had a crowd, and I'm just happy to be here, honestly. No matter how good we would have done, I'm just happy to see all of you.
Can we get loud for Naps, please? Listen, Naps, there's no BDS now. There's no Dignitas now. There's no NRG now. Reeve had a pre-game interview, or media day actually, talking about y'all have no competition, y'all added Atomic, Massimo right there, baby. Is G2 going all the way? Talk to me.
Oh, we're going all the way, baby.
Last but not least, Naps. You got the whole entire home crowd on your side. Reed's from Los Angeles. And y'all just balling out, man. Guaranteed top 3. Were you expecting this coming in? Just let me know. Get the people. Tell the people something.
I expected if we topped our group, like this format is super top heavy. If you get first in your group, you have a good chance of going far in the tournament. So after beating BDS, we knew we had a really good chance to make a deep run in this tournament.
And after that angry translator, are you the best in the world?
Still no.
Oh, man. But anyways, let's go. Hey, chat. YouTube Theater, let's get loud. Let's go, G2. Let's go, G2. All righty. Woo, respect it. All right, we're going to bring it over to the break now. Catch y'all soon.